White in studio with me.
State Senator Wesley Bishop. Glad to be here once again. And Dr. White holding it down in the absence of City Councilman Oliver Thomas.
Listen, it's so easy when you have somebody that just know how to just fill on in there, huh?
Sure.
Behind the glass is Nyron, always holding us down there. We have a special guest in studio with us, Ann Duplessis, Senior Vice President
Senior
of Liberty
Vice President.
Bank. I had to put some heavy respect on Senior because we work hard for our credentials around here. Good morning, and thank you for being here. You look beautiful, too.
Thank you.
So we want to talk all things Liberty Bank with you. The floor is yours.
Well, great. Thank you. Listen, thank you for having me. And I'm so excited to be with my dear friend and colleague, Senator Wesley Bishop. We've had a lot of tense moments together at the Capitol and a lot of good moments together at the Capitol. So Liberty Bank, I'm sure, hopefully most people who are listening in know who we are, but I'm going to give you a little background. We have been around over 52 years. Liberty Bank was chartered here in New Orleans, but we have grown, and we're in over 11 states with physical locations, 18 branches. But, our reach goes worldwide. We are pleased that we have allowed technology to play a major role in helping us expand our reach. So, you can bank with us wherever you are. Through the use of online banking. But our president, which I'm so excited about, Todd McDonald. So as you know or may not know, Mr. Alden McDonald was our CEO and president for the first 50 years of our existence. And he is, I'm not going to say was, he is phenomenal as it relates to the leadership and growth that he has provided to the bank. 2 years ago, when we celebrated our 50th year anniversary, Mr. McDonald turned over the realm of presidency to Todd McDonald, who's been with the bank over 20 years as well. And Todd is bringing in such a new and fresh and innovative vision for the bank, so for the next 50 plus years. So we're excited to see what happens.
But Liberty Bank is not just a bank, it's a community partner, correct?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we provide the services, we provide the products that a bank should provide for individuals. But I think it goes a lot deeper than just providing products and services to the communities that we serve. We provide passion, we provide clear understanding of the issue that an individual may be facing. When we talk about how, people will ask, well, how do I qualify? What are your qualifications for a loan? Honestly, the biggest qualification we're looking for is that you're able to pay us back.
Yes.
Credit score and all of those things are important. We have to look at that because it does give an indication of your ability to pay us back. But we've been able to look at individual communities and determine what the persona or the profile of that community is. And all of the time, that community may not be made up of people with 800 Beacon scores, right? And so do we not provide services? Do we not lend money or give access to credit to individuals just because life happened? So I think we delve deeper into the needs of the people we serve in our communities, and we try and create opportunities.
Well, as the nation's largest Black-owned bank headquartered here in New Orleans, I'm happy you guys are here because, as you said, life happens, life be life.
Yes.
I
like that.
Life be life.
Yes.
And sometimes things happen to us that we're not necessarily prepared for, and we have to proverbially rob Peter to pay Paul. So it's refreshing to know that there are banks out there that respect the fact that life happens, right, and people deserve another chance to have a fiscal future.
Absolutely.
Right?
Senator Duplessis, that's like Dr. Wise said a second ago, Liberty is a community partner. And at no time could you ever think about that in light of what just occurred with the weather event that we had. Can you talk a little bit about how Liberty Bank, what it does, so its history dealing with natural disasters, and what you guys provide for in the emergency time here in the city of New Orleans.
You know, during a time where there's a natural disaster, a hurricane, or a significant weather event, and you know, honestly, as I said, we're not only here in Louisiana, but we're in 11 different states. But during this time, you know, historically, we have been in a leadership and have taken a leadership role in ensuring that the people in our community are able to recover, able to have access to what is needed when there are events like this and situations that are uncontrollable. I'm going to give you an example during Katrina. Katrina, of course, was the worst natural disaster to happen. I don't know in the world, but it's specifically here in Louisiana. But during that time, when our families, when our employees were scattered all over the world, when they didn't have access to their funds in the accounts, Liberty Bank opened the vault and said, "Use your ATM. We'll deal with it later. Get the money you need. We'll deal with the getting it back later." We were at the forefront. Mr. McDonald took a lead in saying, in developing a campaign, we're coming home, and that provided such an energy and such an enthusiasm for people to say, "Hey, people care. Liberty Bank cares," and they're making a way. We provided loans to get people in homes all over the world. People were stranded. We didn't know when and how we were going to get back to New Orleans. And so for our customers, we opened the door and we says, "Okay, we're going to do 100% financing." We continue to be leaders in, as it relates to providing the access, providing resources when you need them and when you don't. So.
Well, there was a huge milestone in 2021 for Liberty Bank. There was $1 billion milestone.
Yes.
And a reinvestment of nearly $300 million into the communities in 2023. So when you talk about community partnerships and you talk about a fiscal institution that wants to reinvest and wants to uplift a community, I think Liberty Bank is leading the way, leading the charge for that. So thank you for that. And also, I want to talk about our new monthly segment focused on financial empowerment and the mentioning the partnership between Liberty Bank and WBOK. So that's wonderful that you'll come back.
Yeah.
You or someone from Liberty Bank and talk to us about financial empowerment. A lot of us need that. When I talk about education being the foundation for everything, financial literacy is super important, especially in communities that are living paycheck to paycheck. There's a way to have fiscal freedom if we know what to do and how to invest our money.
The term financial freedom, financial literacy, that's the term.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I think what we do is give relevant information, right? And how that information impacts you individually, because each one of us have a different scenario.
Yes.
Our scenarios are not the same, right? And so we don't seek to give a blanket, template of information about financial literacy or financial empowerment. It's got to be relevant to what you need at the time you need it, because you know what? Your needs change as well. And I think that's the beauty that we have found a way in this world of technology, in this world of people speaking to bots and robots and chat and AI.
Yes.
And we've found a way to incorporate that to help us be more efficient, to help us be better and faster, but we're still people, and we're still people talking to people. We're still people helping people understand what you need when you need it.
Senator, I want to jump in for just a second. And we understand it all things hurricane-wise happens to be hurricane season. And I know that here in the city of New Orleans, in the state of Louisiana, insurance is critical.
Yes.
It's an issue that we dealt with in the legislature and continue to deal with in the legislature. You guys have a full-service insurance division.
Yes.
You talk a little bit about that. I got to give a shout-out to Ramona Logan.
Yeah.
Ramona Logan has been my insurance agent for many years.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Yes, she is. And that speaks to a lot of the staff we have at Liberty. Tenured, long time, and phenomenal. Ramona just recently retired, but she's still with us. She's still, is hanging around with us and continuing to give us guidance. But yes, we are, it's a little known fact, we have a wonderful insurance agency that's been around over 30 years. And the beauty, again, of that agency is that we have a dedicated team of folk who will work with you to determine what is the best type of insurance for you. I mean, I think that if nothing else, you give us a call to try and see if the current coverage you have is sufficient, right? And if it is, it's good. You need at this point, as we transition through whatever this is we're going through with insurance rates, it is important to really have a real partner that can sit with you and look at the coverage you have, look at your lifestyle, look at your assets, and guide you in what works best. Because the worst thing to do is to be underinsured. A lot of times people will take, take the cheap or least expensive route, which is not good. You're wasting money, right? So I think it's important to just have that check, that insurance check, that risk check, to ensure that you are adequately insured, and then you make the decision, right, based on information that's relevant.
So, can you give us a broad overview of the services Liberty Bank offers?
Absolutely. So we are a bank that offers for our small business and a major corporation. We offer small business loans. We have SBA loans. We have a phenomenal program for our small businesses called the Lightning Loan, which is a loan that's up to $50,000, and it's have very flexible underwriting guidelines. Of course, we have consumer loans. We are the leader in mortgage lending. So if you're looking for a mortgage loan or a HELOC, second mortgage, a home equity loan, please give us a call. The beautiful thing is you don't have to come into a branch if you don't want to, right? All of our products and service can be accessed online at www.libertybank.net. So you go online and you get all of the information if you don't want to speak to a person that you need, and then actually complete application, and we can do everything electronically.
And can you touch on just a little bit? I know a lot of individuals look to refinance properties.
Yes.
As interest rates go up, go down, are those services that you guys provided?
Absolutely. Refinance is one of our major products that people, as insurance rates, as interest rates fluctuate. Of course, we look to, it's better to refinance.
Okay.
People who are in variable rate type products, it's great to refinance. So, yes, absolutely, we do provide that service. The one thing I forgot to mention was our Visa card. Our Visa card. Now, let me ask you a question. What if your Visa card or your credit card? Give me an idea of what your rate is. 18?
Too high.
20%?
Yeah.
Too high.
Our credit card starts at 9.96. The highest is 15, unless you're really, really bad, and then you're at 18. But that's after you've had a card with us and been delinquent for about 6 months. But we have a fixed rate credit card at 9.96. That's a fixed rate. That's not a variable rate. That's not a introductory rate. So when you're talking about financial freedom, when you're talking about being economically smart with your money, all of us need to use credit, right? At some point in time. The key is how expensive is that credit, and how, and so the goal is to look for opportunities or those types of vehicles out there like a credit card, which is a great resource in a storm, in a natural disaster, when you don't have the cash, but you need to have a credit card to book that hotel or to book that whatever it is you need to book, or just to have some cash because we may not have that slush fund set aside. A low rate Visa card is a wonderful tool to use, but in the regular refinance those 18%, those 21. Go home. I give everybody homework. Go home and go online, look at your statements for the credit cards you have, and look at how much interest you're paying. That means every month the credit card company is adding another $100, $200, $300 just in interest. It's nothing you bought, just in interest.
Let me ask you one quick question, and that being that for young people, one thing when I think back about when I was in college, not really knowing much about credit card, things along those lines, and I'm thinking about the 7 to 8 universities that right here in the city of New Orleans. How would you recommend, I guess, to a young person who is trying to get financially straight, to plan their financial future? What are some of the things that they can be doing now to try and prepare themselves?
I think the first thing is a young person needs to get a checking account or establish some type of relationship with a bank. Our young folk now are very much into cash apps and those types of, which are convenient, right? But I think that the first thing they should do is to establish themselves at a bank, right? As it relates to credit, I'm not sure if I would suggest going out getting a whole lot of credit cards, especially during this time, because it's very difficult for young folk to be disciplined. And so you get yourself into more trouble. Now, another way that a person can try and get themselves established, as they're matriculating through college, is if their parents say, I'm going to buy them a car, then let them get added on to the account or to the loan as a co-borrower. That helps to begin establishing credit when mom and dad is actually paying the bills, right? And so those are ways that you can begin. But I think that, as they are closer to getting income from a job, we start to look at ways to have them build credit.
Well, the people want to talk to you,
Okay.
Ms. Duplessis.
All right,
so
I'm ready.
we have Don online too. Good morning, Don. You're on with Ann Duplessis, Senior Vice President of Liberty Bank.
Good morning, Don.
Good morning to you all. And it would be a travesty if Dr. Norma C. Francis, President Emeritus, or even the President, Alden McDonald, has not been king of Zulu. I just want to. And I mean that
might be a
sincerely.
bad idea.
That may not be a bad idea. I'll pitch it when I get back to the office.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. And I appreciate the good sister in finance and banking, which is very critical to our community, the lifeblood of our communities. Let me ask a question. First of all, a comment on the two candidates. One is the presidential candidates. One has said he's a businessman, not a politician. And he questioned the other candidate's heritage. Is she black or whatever? But if you look at the wealth distribution in this country, white folks have 8 to 10 times the wealth of black folks, okay? But if you look at Kamala Harris, her father's black, her mother's East Indian. If you look at the East Indian wealth accumulation, it's 2.5 times that of white. So white folks have $216,000 in family wealth, where the East Indians, which is part of Kamala Harris's heritage, has over $500,000. So I think the best business person, and East Indians run more corporations, Fortune 500 corporations, and have more businesses, small businesses, than any other group as a percentage. They just have a low percentage of population. But they are business acumen. They teach their children business acumen. Absolutely. And so my question is, New Orleans I grew up in was business acumen. You had people own corner grocery stores, dry cleaners, you name it. They owned car wash, law firms. What has New Orleans done, and what has the banking community, since with Liberty Bank, one of the great banks of the financial institutions of the world, how do we continue to promote not just the issue of private and personal access to wealth, but business access to wealth? Since there's over 1 million small black micro-owned businesses, black-owned businesses, and many of them are sole proprietorship. How do we make New Orleans and the financial community have a seat at the table, more business friendly to those who are micro businesses, and not run them away from the creation that is our culture.
Absolutely.
If that makes sense.
That's an excellent question. And can I just say, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge Dr. Norman C. Francis, who is actually the chairman of our board and has been since day one. So I'm sorry that I didn't do that initially. But yeah, I think you bring up a really good thought and a comment. I think that what we have done at Liberty Bank is to try and attack that issue where we can by creating loans like the Lightning loan that I spoke to you about. That is a loan for those micro businesses that makes it easier. Because we're not looking for in that loan financial statements. We're not looking for 3 or 4 years of tax returns. Initially, we're looking for your ability based on what the plan that you're bringing to us. That I'm a barber and I need to buy. I want to start. I just finished barber school and I want to go and start my clientele and start my small business. But I need $5,000 to buy all the equipment that I have. That's the perfect person that begins that. But the other thing we have to do, the bank itself cannot do it alone just by providing products. That's a huge part of it. But there has to be a collaborative effort between municipality, the city, to make it easier for companies to do business in this city, right? And we have to encourage our major corporations to create diversity and equity type programs that allow access to the opportunities that are out there. So I think that it's not a one shot open the doors and give someone a loan, but I think it should be a collaborative initiative that touches all of the things that impact a small business not being able to do business here.
Well, if you have questions for Ms. Duplessis about your financial situation, if you want to share your story with us, the number to call is 504-582-9422. In studio is Ann Duplessis, Senior Vice President of Liberty Bank. I have Wesley Bishop, Senator Wesley Bishop, co-hosting with me, and I'm sitting in for the incomparable Oliver O.T. Thomas. Can you share with us, before we go to break, some of the products that you offer at Liberty Bank that some lay people like myself might not know? Because we know banks have the loans and things of that nature, but are there products that we should know about that we probably, on average, don't know about?
Well, again, we have all of the major products and the normal products that you would expect. We have checking accounts, we have saving accounts, investment type money market accounts, which are pretty good for your immediate saving needs. We have, again, when you're looking at the borrowing, right? We have very low interest consumer loans, very low interest. I mean, if you're coming out of college or you've been in the workforce for a minute and you're now starting to revisit the debt that you have, we have debt consolidation loans, which are extremely good in helping individuals to again reduce that interest expense that they're paying out, and then to consolidate and have better what we call cash flow. Every month you have a little bit more in your pocket, to spend on the things that you need and that you want.
That is so important. Like I am grateful that there's a bank that looks to represent people like myself.
Yes.
Right? And especially when we talk about life happening.
Yes.
And people being able to create fresh starts even after they've kind of fallen off the financial wagon. So I think Liberty Bank's position here in the city is integral, and it's needed and it's necessary.
And I know we mentioned Dr. Francis and we've mentioned Alden McDonald, but we need to talk about a little bit more, because Alden McDonald is an icon.
Yes.
in the black community, but also in the banking community nationwide. I was at that 50th anniversary and had a chance to take a look at that and see what that was. And we talked a lot about what Liberty has done, and much of what you do behind the scenes.
Right.
And I want to say this.
Yeah.
This is, you have about 5 minutes.
Okay.
I want to give the floor to you. We don't want to interrupt with any more questions. So anything you think we need to know, how to reach you, how to contact any representative at Liberty. So in addition to Senator Bishop's question. The floor is yours for the last 5 minutes.
Okay.
So share with us whatever you need to before you leave us.
Okay, Senator.
Yes, and just everything that you guys have been doing. I was talking about how much of what you do behind the scenes, and you could talk a little bit about that, and that's just, and I just think of so different things, and almost there probably isn't an issue or a movement in the city of New Orleans over the last 20, 30 years that Alderman McDonald either was not a part of or did not lead.
Absolutely.
And that's business-wise, politics, education, along those lines.
Absolutely.
So you can talk a little bit about that and kind of how that comes together and how you guys continue to provide a lead here in the city of New Orleans.
You're absolutely right. I mean, Mr. McDonald, I've worked with the bank over almost 30 years now, and I have just been in awe the entire time. And, just from his leadership, his tenacity. He's an icon here in New Orleans and Louisiana, but I have seen him as being a leader and a force nationally, with the FDIC and as they come to him with federal regulators who come to Liberty Bank for guidance and for insight on how we do what we do so good. But what I want to do is just spend the next 2 seconds or however much I have talking about the future, how the excitement of Todd, McDonald taking over as president. Todd, and really how lucky we are that we have the history and the guidance and the experience still of Mr. McDonald, of Dr. Norman Francis, who continues to give us guidance, yes. Right? Because although we look forward, we have to understand the past. We have to understand the mistakes that have been made so we don't make them in the future. So Todd is bringing innovation. He's bringing technology. He's bringing, I think, what we're going to need going forward in banking. And so, and then this relationship with WBOK. We are so excited to now have a platform that we can reach our community. And WBOK also has been historic, and it's providing resources and being leaders in the community with information. And that's I think the key. That is the most important aspect of all of this. And we talked earlier about collaborative relationships. This collaboration with WBOK allows us to begin to continue, I guess, have a platform to talk about what is needed and what is relevant, to talk about the future not only of our city of banking, but how to get to it, how to access it, and how to make it relevant to you. Listen, I want to give you a number. Of course, you can go to our website, which is www.libertybank.net, and it will give you all of the information you need. Telephone numbers are there. But if you simply want to give us a call, you can call our customer care number, which is 800-883-3943, 800-883-3943, and let them know that you heard me on the radio and you need to ask me a question, or you need some guidance on any other topic, and our customer service reps will be happy to help.
Because we know life be lifing.
Life is life, and I like it.
Financial and fiscal needs and questions, please give Liberty Bank a call. On the other side of the break, we will hear from a representative from Oshner, but we want to thank Ann Duplessis, Senior Vice President of Liberty Bank. I am Dr. Ashanta Wyatt.
And I am State Senator Wesley Bishop. Happy to talk to former State Senator Ann Duplessis.
This has been fun. Thank you.
So after the break, we'll hear from Oshner, WBOK, 12:30 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about.
About news you can listen to.